On behalf of Eti Shakti, the Students' League of our college, I, Dr. E. Ajita, welcome you all to this 5-day webinar series on turning crisis to opportunity. We are sure that this webinar series will be useful and informative to all of you, as we have leading experts from various fields sharing their insight in these 5 days. Thank you. May I now request our respected principal, Dr. Mrs. S. Kodai, to address us.
Good afternoon to one and all. It gives me immense pleasure to meet all my beloved students, my darling daughters. After the hiatus due to the pandemic, but thanks to the returning crisis to opportunities conducted by Eti Shakti, the Students' League of Ethiraj College for Women. The webinar is being organized to bring to light the various opportunities available amidst these dark times of pandemic and the ensuing lockdown. Eminent speakers from diverse backgrounds have cordially consented to address you on topics which are apt for the present juncture. I urge you to utilize the lecture series on motivational enhancement for students during lockdown, entrepreneurship, career prospects, post-COVID, student to civil servant, challenges to crack IAS examination, and life skills, and the catalyst to self-development. The webinar series is planned with the objective to nurture and foster the self-confidence of the students to face the bright future ahead. Besides, the lecture series would throw open the various avenues still available for assiduous youth of the present generation. The students would also be exposed to strategies of developing entrepreneurship and life skills to face futuristic challenges towards self development and holistic growth. I thank all the speakers who would be delivering motivational lectures in the forthcoming sessions. I thank the Dean of Students, the League Heads, for their tremendous effort and support. I wish all the students successful and informative sessions which would serve the purpose of knowledge sharing and career development building in an e-way. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you one and all.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of our management, principal, vice principals, dean of students, and league heads, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome Dr. Kirti Pai, psychologist, Apollo Hospitals, Chennai, for this webinar series titled Turning Crisis to Opportunity. Dr. Kirti Pai will be giving the first talk of the series on motivational enhancement for students during lockdown. I thank her for readily accepting our invitation to address our students. It is my prime duty and pleasure to introduce Dr. Kirti Pai. Dr. Kirti Pai has done her MPhil in clinical psychology from KMC Manipal and PhD from Madras University. She is a consultant clinical psychologist in Apollo Hospitals and partner in Element H Psychological Support Service. She is a guest faculty in Institute of Mental Health, Chennai. She got trained in marine psychology from Denmark in 2011 and is involved in psychological assessment and therapy for seafarers in Southeast Asia. She is a certified clinical supervisor from ACA Australia. Once again, I take this opportunity to welcome our guest speaker, principal, vice principals, league heads, and all the student participants from different departments of Ethiraj College for Women. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Over to the speaker.
Thank you, ma'am. I hope I am audible. Uh,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. And thank you, dear Kode ma'am, for meeting again. It's a great pleasure to be back in Etharaj, virtually at least, and seeing all bright young ladies smiling, and that itself is the motivation for me. So thank you very much for inviting me for this lecture, and it's always a pleasure to interact with young students, because they kind of provide a lot of energy and motivation to us, as the little senior older people. Yeah. So with that, I would go to my screen sharing. What I have planned in this 40 to 45 minutes is we will talk a little bit on what is the distress. So definitely we are looking at distress because of the lockdown, and then we would look at what can we do because of the distress. So because only when we understand that this is the distress, then it's easier for us to look at what can be done for it. So these are not stopgap techniques which I'm saying. These are techniques which help people to understand about themselves, gain better insight about themselves, and help them to look at what are the resilience skills, what are the coping skills, what are benefits which they can get by using these coping skills, and then we take questions later on. I'm having a little bit of problem here in the presenting. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, it is visible, ma'am. It is visible.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Yeah. Okay, so I'll do slideshow. Yeah. Okay. So may I also request the audience to mute their audio? Yeah, thank you very much. Because, with the speaker, it is as if somebody is talking inside my head. Yeah, thank you very much. So thank you again, ma'am, for, all the teachers, and it's always a pleasure college. Yeah. So as I was telling you, we need to discuss the most common psychological symptoms which we are looking at. So when we see patients or clients who call us, so we are doing telecounseling as part of the Apollo's system, and also as part of the clinic. So we do see quite a few of them are calling up with complaints of being very stressed, being very anxious. They have a lot of racing thoughts, and these thoughts may be because of the uncertainties in future, uncertainties about the present, wondering about what would happen to me later on, how am I going to complete my education, how am I going to complete my exams. And that can lead on to a lot of sadness, crying, loss of interest in our normal routine activities. There are a lot of people who would also call up saying, I have difficulty in breathing, I have increased heart rate, palpitations, I'm feeling, is it that I am getting into a COVID positive kind of symptoms. There are also a lot of individuals who are calling up saying that they are getting very frustrated sitting inside the four walls of the house. It could be a big house or a small house, but we are all used to going out, meeting people, hanging out. If it is a Saturday, I don't think Chennai people are used to sitting inside the house. And now continuously it started from April, little earlier in March end, and then it continued and continued. So we are still at wondering when are we going to get out and come back to our normal life. Yeah. So that is frustrating for a lot of people, and it results in anger or outburst and restlessness, agitation. Quite a lot of students are calling up and complaining about difficulty in concentrating, because concentrating, focusing on studies, we don't know when the exams would be, there are projects to be finished. Unless you concentrate, how am I going to finish? So that's a very common question which we are being bombarded with. Sleeping pattern, there's lot of disturbance in sleeping pattern. People are sleeping more, people are sleeping at untimely hours. They would sleep throughout the day, be awake on the phone throughout the night. There's a constant change in the circadian rhythm, change in the sleep pattern, which itself is making a lot of people agitated and feeling helpless. A lot of people are also talking about feeling disconnected. India is a country where, if it is a small function or big function, we easily have not less than 100 people. Yeah. Even if it is a small birthday or a small function, we would want people from the neighborhood, from the family, from college to come meet up, and that's the fun part we are looking at. But right now, we hardly can even meet our neighbor. We can say hello from the balcony, but we can't even go have a cup of coffee with our neighbor. And so definitely there is a lot of disconnectedness which people are complaining about. And very many are worrying about going to public places. So these are places where they need to go. It could be a hospital, it could be a grocery shop, market, where we have to go to get our, or a pharmacy to get our, maybe what we eat, or maybe some medicine for our senior person living in the family. So then there is also a fear of, if I go there, there may be more than one person there, and will I contract the infection from there, and will I be a carrier to bring that in there into my house? And that lot of apprehension in those thoughts, and which is also making it very difficult for people to relax, rest, and be calm. We see a lot of change in eating habits. So there is a lot of sedentary work happening, sitting on top, in front of the laptop or the computer or the iMac, and or with the iPad, and playing or googling or chatting. So what happens is the eating does not take precedence. So eating would be what can be eaten quickly. It is something which is junk, which again adds on to leading to weight increase and things like that. Yeah. And as I told you, uncertainty about future is a huge thing which people are talking about. So when we brainstorm, we see there are certain clusters or topics which are emerging as the main important aspects, and which is very important that we discuss about this. How do we handle this will come a little while later, but only when we are aware. So that's what we talk about when we talk about motivation. Most important thing is we need to be aware of what pulls us down. Only when we have a roadmap would we be able to motivate ourselves to reach the goal. So if I say I want to go from destination Chennai to destination Mumbai or to Cochin or anywhere, I need to have a roadmap there, right? Similarly, for me to plan that I need to finish my BSc now and then move on to MSc. If I do not have a career path, if I do not have a roadmap, what is going to motivate me is a big question mark. So that is the reason why we are doing this brainstorming, to also look at what could be pulling down factors, what could be demotivating factors. Yeah. So what we have seen is work education. So we do talk to a lot of people who say that, what am I going to do in future? What is the career? Do I have a career after I finish my bachelor degree? Do I have a career after I finish my master? Can I go on to doing my masters with this lockdown? How long am I going to be staying inside the house? I'm also worried about family. So there would be a senior person, maybe dad is 60 plus, or there is a grandmother who's 60, 80 plus. So I am worried about what would happen to my granny, because I need to go out, I need to buy grocery, but am I being a carrier to the infection into my house? So this is a question which recently a girl had asked us, and we had to reassure her, telling her that it need not be as long as she holds on to the sanitization process very well. Yeah. Health is a huge worry for everyone. I don't think there is anybody in this world, not just a small part of Chennai. The whole world health is something which everybody is worried about. Yeah. And we, of course, there is a lot of literature, lot of research articles, lot of medical literature which is coming up, which we are also not very sure of. What do we read? What do we not read? Yeah. Personally, there could be a lot of, could be a relationship issue, it could be an emotional issue, it could be health related, personal health related issues. So these are all aspects in your mind which is bombarding you with so many thoughts. Yeah. Friends, so all, I'm mostly talking about the young ones, the young adults who are part of the college. Friendship is what makes college life fun, and like when you look back, you would of course remember the good time you had with all your friends. Yeah. And I know people who are listening to me would be smiling. I can't see the smile, but I can visualize the smile. Yeah. Because when I look back into my college, it's all the good points with friends. Yeah. So what we are looking at right now is no friends, no physical contact, no social contact, just be at home, which can also add on to the distress. So emotionally, we are not connecting. Socially, we are not connecting, which is again adding to the distress. Yeah. Finances, of course, we hear people talking about loss of job, or not able to continue their careers, or not able to continue their education. We also see young ones. So it would be an adult in the family who's worried about, the board exams of their child. It could be a senior citizen who's worried about, how am I going to manage my finances. It could be a middle-aged person in the family who's worried about of the job and then leading on to finances. Of course, we would have planned ourselves well, but this pandemic was something which, I don't think the world was ready for. Yeah. Saying that doesn't mean that we are not working on it. We will definitely work on it as we move on. Yeah. So why am I bringing this slide here is very important, and I know all of us believe in mind body connection. Yeah. We all know that our body and our mind are connected. Yeah? So what happens is when there are racing thoughts in mind, when there are emotions in mind, naturally we would behave in such a way. So when I am thinking that it's hopeless, I feel sad, and I behave, maybe I get angry, I throw things, I shout, or I could sulk, I could cry. So these are all behaviors because of this racing thoughts, the anxious thoughts, the sad thoughts, and the emotions pooling onto the behavior. And all of this has an effect onto our body. So psychoneuroimmunology. So when a person is worried, having anxious thoughts and behaving in an anxious, depressed manner, definitely you are secreting more of corticosteroids there, the stress hormones there. And what happens is the body starts reducing the immune system. Yeah. Which can lead to more physical illness, which again leads to more thinking, more emotions, and more behavioral aspects. And that goes on like a cycle. What do we do about it as we move on? But it's important for us to know that the body and the mind are hand in hand. So it is important that we also discuss not just about physical wellness, we also discuss about the psychological wellness. Yeah. And that's the reason I think Etiraj College has been very proactive, looking at not only the physical aspects of young adult, we are also looking at the psychological resilience, psychological wellness, which is very commendable from the part of the college. Yeah. I will talk little bit about gadget addiction because I see so many of them who would call up and say, I am just not able to keep my phone down, my iPad down, or, I'm just not able to log out of my social media or log out of the gaming which I'm doing. And this definitely is going to be huger than the COVID pandemic. Yeah. So there are, times when we in our circle, when we discuss the clinical psychologist circle, when we discuss, we are also looking at, are we looking at another pandemic? Are we looking at addiction. Yeah. So it's important that we understand that people with maybe lower self-esteem, maybe social anxiety can get into gadgets, but we see a lot of people to gadgets because of boredom and loneliness, because they want a social connect, they want somebody to talk to them, interact with them. And how do you get it other than through the social media? Yeah. Or have a game and online gaming, so that you are playing with so many other people. Yeah. So that's the personality which we are looking at. And we do see a lot of people impulsively getting into gaming behaviors or getting into social media, posting it and chatting on that, which definitely is leading on to more and more use, leading on to dependence, and further down leading on to addiction. So what do we see here? You see the likes there, yeah? So we are seeing the dopamine addiction there, yeah? So every time you post something, you send a message, your brain is actually craving for the dopamine, which comes when you get a like, or which comes when you get a message or a reply back, yeah? So the first time you post, one or two likes is, wow, I've got my dopamine rush. But as you grow, as you start moving more and more into the social media or gaming, it is like alcohol or marijuana. What happens is you need more and more likes, because there is a tolerance which develops. So you want more and more likes, which adds on to your tolerance. And 5 likes would be like nothing. You want 50 likes, 500 likes, 5 million likes. Yeah. And that is where the tolerance increases and craving increases, and it leads on to becoming more and more into addictive behaviors. Yeah, this is important because it's neurobiology. We need to understand that the brain has a huge control over our emotions, our thoughts, and how we behave. Yeah. Some symptoms are, there are lots of symptoms. You can get it from the internet again. Yeah. But most important symptoms, especially for the student population, which we need to look at, is concentration, attention, because when you are studying, you need to focus, you need to attend. You can't be multitasking. Yeah. You need to focus, especially when it is studies. Yeah. Memory problems, decision making problems, so difficulty to look at what do I study first, what do I finish first in projects, do I need to talk to my friend now, or do I need to complete my work? And of course, we know a lot of people complaining of headache or eye problems or back pain because of the postures. We also know infertility issues. That would be little more later. But right now we are looking at headache and eye problems and concentration difficulties, problems in cognitive functioning, that is memory and decision making. Lot of sleep disturbance. So the nights are becoming day and the day is becoming the night, and there's a constant change in the circadian rhythm, confusing the body, leading to more weight management issues. So it's not just the sedentary activity, it's also the metabolism which we are talking about. Yeah, which of course leads to more stress and anxiety and communication issues. Yeah, so it could be relationship issues. We expect somebody to reply to us immediately. He or she does not reply, or does not reply in the same way I want him or her to reply, which can also lead to more stress and anxiety. Yeah, which can lead to more communication or relationship issues. Why are we discussing this? Is because you need to know that this is possibly because of the over influence of overindulgence in gadgets. Yeah. So that's also a reminder for you that why am I getting stressed is also a reason because I am into the social media for a long, long time. Yeah. How do you reduce? So after discussing about social media, the deficits of it, emotional aspects of it, we also have to talk about how do I reduce gadget addiction. Why am I bringing this in motivation is because many times the motivation to study, the motivation to look into career, the motivation to look further in life also gets pulled down, because right now there are students who call up and say, what is the use? Even if I study now exams, I don't know when they are going to give the exam. And if I study now, I might not remember. So I would do that studying late with my gadgets. Yeah. But you know what happens if you keep sitting on the gadget. That's what we saw in the previous slide. So to motivate yourself, to enhance your performance levels, you need to reduce the gadget use. Yeah, even before it becomes into an addiction. So it's most importantly what we tell is schedule time for you. That is what we call me time. Yeah. So you know you have 24 hours in your life. Yeah. Everybody has 24 hours. So what do? We have to look at how long can I sleep? How long can I study? How long can I be on my gadgets? How long can I spend time with my family? That's your schedule time. So you will have to decide on, are you controlling your time or is the gadget controlling your time? So that's a huge, big question which I would like to pose on to all the students who are listening here. Very important part is the internal locus of control. So look is what we attribute our success or performance or failures to. Yeah? So a person with an external locus of control can always think of, if I fail an exam, it's because the teacher didn't teach me properly, or because the exam was kept at a time when I usually sleep. So I don't know, but I've heard this from someone. That is all external looks of control. Or there are, I failed because I couldn't use that pen which I wanted to write with. Yeah. So when you start externalize every performance result too, what happens is it also demotivates you. Yeah. When you look at, okay, I am in charge. If I study, I prepare well, I can do my exams well. I study, I prepare well, I get my life goals well, and I am in charge. So those are the words which I would like you to use in self affirmation. So when we are looking at, I am in control, I am in charge, those are the words which I would like you to use as self affirmations and start looking at that to motivate yourself. Of course, you can take support from friends and family. Of course, you can't go meet your extended family and other friends. But of course, you can look at, having them as support system and taking support from them, also helping, reminding them to remind you if you're sitting on the phone for a long time or on social media for a long time. Yeah. So you have to be importantly be aware that there is a dependence on gadgets. When you are aware of the dependence on your gadgets, you will also be in a way motivated looking at what else can I do to stop this, overuse, dependence, addiction. Yeah. Mindfulness is something which we tell everyone to look at, because that's a way of using all your senses. We will discuss that a little more in detail later. But we are using all our senses. We have five senses. Use all your senses to relax. Use that to, calm down yourself, and not a gadget to calm down yourself. Yeah. CBT is something which, very well researched, which as a mental health professional we are trained to. And in case if nothing works, you always have us to approach and take help. Yeah. Now, moving on to what do I do? So, there is one aspect of handling anxiety, handling emotions, handling distress, and then moving on to motivation. So, right now, we are looking also at handling emotions, because only when the emotional side of your brain, that is the limbic system, is calmed down, your prefrontal cortex, that's the decision maker, the executive functioning part of the brain, starts working in a faster way. Yeah. So that is why we are looking at both sides. So we are looking at calming down the emotional part of the brain, the limbic system, and motivating, stimulating the prefrontal cortex, that is the executive part, the CEO of our brain. Yeah. And only when the CEO works really hard without getting down, without getting emotional, can we be motivated to move ahead. Yeah. So what do we do here? Face COVID is by a very eminent psychologist called Russ Harris. He talks about the happiness trap. That's his bestseller. Yeah. So what he talks about, what Russ Harris talks about in happiness trap is that, see, all of us want to be happy. All of us want to be at peace. All of us want to be at always calm. But what happens is it really possible for a human being to be always calm, for the graph to be always stable? Possible, because we do have our emotions, so we can have ups and downs, and So we can be happy, we can be sad, we can be angry. What we are looking at is regulating the emotions. It's not 0 or 100. So it's not 0 anger, 100 anger. It's not 0 anxiety, 100 anxiety. We're looking at regulating it on a scale where it's much more easier for us to handle that. Yeah. Well, how do we do that? Also, the anxiety part of it. How do we do that? Focus on what is in your control. I will discuss that a little more in detail in the next slide. Acknowledge your thoughts and feelings. So only when you appreciate, you acknowledge, you are aware of this is what I'm thinking now, and this is what I'm feeling in my mind now. Yes, then it's easier for you to handle that. Imagine if you're not able to voice out your feelings, then it becomes like uncertainty. What am I feeling right now? What do I do right now? Yeah. Come back to your body. Is look at how your body is giving you signals. So when there is a panic, when there is an anger, when there is an anxiety, your body is giving you signals. There is increased heart rate, breathe. There is increased heartbeat. There is increased breathing or shallow breathing. There is sweating. There is, you actually can feel you're in the roller coaster. When you know that your body is giving you signals, calm down. Use your body signals to allow yourself to calm down. Yeah. Engage in what you're doing. So that's what you're looking at in mindfulness. So instead of multitasking, so when you look at the screen, you have your laptop on, you have your iPad on, you have your mobile phone on, you would have your music on. You're bombarding your brain with multiple stimulus. Poor brain, think of that. How much load can it take? So what are we looking at? Engage in not multitasking, engage in unitasking, one at a time. Of course, you can argue as to say, I am breathing and eating at the same time, but we are looking at higher order thinking. So when you are looking at the lower survival needs, that's fine. We can breathe and eat at the same time. We can walk and eat at the same time because you don't need your prefrontal cortex to focus on everything what you're doing. But if you're learning a new skill or if you're studying something which is very important, do not multitask at that point. Yeah. Committed action, when you engage, when you are acknowledging, then when you look at committed action, your motivation would definitely work up there. Okay? Opening up, very important. If something is worrying you, if something is making you feel anxious or angry or sad, talk either to your parents or your friends or your teachers or meet the professional therapist. It is important that you open up, talk about your emotions, talk about your thinking. It's important because only then you're able to reduce the anxiety associated with the thoughts. Yeah. And more time, you also have to be in touch with your values. So if your values is that I want to help somebody, can and it's difficult now to go and go to an NGO and help people in need. But you can help people around you. Maybe give food to the watchman who helps you in the apartment, or help your mother because your value system is to help somebody. So, and you're not saying I would only help an NGO person. I can help anyone, and that's part of your value system. So go according to your value system. Understand your value system. Go according to it. And I don't think anyone would have value systems which are to cause suffering to others. So we definitely have value systems which should support us, which should also allow us the serotonin what we are looking at. So when we do things like being with, helping others or calling up somebody, which is again helping, connecting. So we are also looking at the serotonin. So when you connect to people, when you help people, you are helping yourself as well. Yeah. Identify resources, very important, because if you're looking at study material, what are the resources which I need to look at? If you're looking at something which is deficient, which is not available, what can I do to problem solve it? That is what we are looking at instead of worrying about it. The question is, if you worry, will you find the resources? No, you know the answer. So instead of that, let's look at problem solving versus emotional problem solving. Yeah. So we are looking at rational problem solving, which helps you to identify the resources and help you to move on. Yeah. Which would also help you to motivate yourself to move on. Yeah. Disinfect and distance is something which I think I don't need to talk about because you're being bombarded by Wikipedias and webinars and information on the internet, yeah, on social distancing. Yes. My sphere of influence is why my sphere of influence is what I was talking about in the previous slide. So if you look at these, you will know that there are certain things which are under my control. What is it that I can control? Again, coming back to internal locus of control. So what can I do to help myself? So I can limit my information diet. I don't need to read everything which is being bombarded on me. I can have a routine. I can do relaxation. I can cultivate connection, need not be always holding on hands. Also saying hello to the neighbor auntie, providing food to the watchman, or talking with your parents, having a meal together, eating well, exercising, seeking and offering support. You can, there are places where you still can call up and offer support. Voting, I'm not looking at any political party. We are looking at standing up for your rights. So if by chance the policymakers are asking you for something, stand up for your rights. Yeah. What is outside your control is, of course, what other people think, what other people decide. Of course, you can raise your voice, but certain things are beyond us, which we need to, be clear about. When the college would work, so school is also related to college. So when the education schedules would come, when the exams, that's for the teachers to worry about. Yeah. So as students, you focus on what is required for you. Do not waste your time on when will the classes start, when will the exams continue, right? Okay. Holidays, all of us want to have holiday, the summer break, we've lost it. But do you get anything by worrying about this? Public transport or aging or weather, is it going to rain today? Am I going to be older the next year? Because these are all outside your control. So, is it really necessary for you to worry about it and demotivate you? That's my question. This is very important because we hardly think of what we think. And if you look at the internet, there is so much data on how many numbers of thoughts we have and what all. Okay, we still are searching for that, yeah, for the true number. But we know that as human beings, we think. We are thinking human beings. Yeah? But we also have something called metacognitions, which is thinking about the thinking. So we are not just passive thinkers. We can also think about our thinking. So this is an acronym which is very important, very helpful, because you need to look at whenever you get a thought that I am COVID positive, or I will fail in my exams, I will never achieve anything in my life. You reflect back and think, is this thought 100% true? Have I not achieved anything in life? Is this thought helping me in any way or helping somebody else in any way? Is this thought inspiring me? Is it really necessary for me to focus on this particular aspect right now? Or can I come back when I'm more relaxed, more calmer? Yeah? And is this thought kind? Or can I replace it with a kinder thought? So by thinking that I will be COVID positive or I am doomed for life, I am a failure, are you doing any of this THINK? Yeah. So when you know the answer to it, can you start looking at ignoring the thought and not worrying about it too much? Yeah. Moving on, IMPROVE is an acronym again given by Masha Linehan, who's a psychologist again, who has done a lot of research on emotion regulation. Okay, so I would like all the students to look at each one of this. I, imagine, M, meaning, P, prayer, R, relaxation, time. Vacation is not taking the flight and going to Switzerland. Vacation is going to a place where you find peace in your mind. So you can, look at your pictures. You can sit with your parents. You can sit with your friends and talk about what happened earlier or where you would go maybe later on. Encouragement. Tell yourself that things are going to be fine. Self affirmations that I am capable. I will be able to manage. So when you improve, when you use the acronym PROVE, you are in a better place to manage your emotions, and that itself would motivate you to move ahead in whatever the career or the goals you have in mind. Yeah? Gratitude is very, very important. So when you look at each day, the morning when you wake up, could be 6 a.m., 10 a.m., any time. start looking at a new day. We are looking at being grateful. We are looking at I have a home, I have my parents, I have food, and I have my teachers to support me, and I have my dear support me for anything I'm doing. Yeah? And that itself will give you a lot of happiness. Yeah. So who is the most happiest person in the world? You can Google. But what we are looking at is somebody with lot of support, emotional support. It could be from family, it could be from teachers, it could be friends. Imagine the support, the happiness the person would feel if he or she has support from all walks of life. Yeah? And that definitely it strengthens him because we are looking at the endorphins, the happiness hormone, we are looking at the oxytocin, and all of them would provide you with the support which we are talking about, which definitely is going to motivate you. So when you know that I have this huge community behind me, it could be parents, it could be your siblings, it could be your friends, it could be your teachers. When you know that these are all the solidarity wall behind you, that's the gratitude which I'm talking about. You would definitely be motivated to move ahead because you have so much support with you. Yeah. What we are looking at is, I had mentioned this earlier as well. We are looking at mindfulness. We are looking at using all your senses. So we have five senses. So when you eat mindfully. No, feel the sensation, feel the smell, feel the taste, feel the odor, feel the the taste of the whatever food you're eating. And what we are looking at is enjoying the moment to the fullest, being aware of the present moment without judgment. So when if somebody's calling you, be there in the present moment. Don't fiddle with the phone at the same time. Don't listen to music and study because you're not really appreciating the present moment at that point. Yeah. So most importantly, without judgment, without attachment as to looking at negative thoughts at that point, which would make you feel that I am not living life to the fullest. What is the aim in life? What am I looking at in life? Yeah. Mindfulness every day. So you can even download apps like Smiling Mind, which gives you self affirmations every day, which allows you to live life with eyes wide open, using all your senses, feel alive. And that is what we are looking at: aware, awake, and be attentive. Yes. That is my last slide. And we are looking at is not only the happiness part we are looking at. And what we have seen is when you are grateful about oneself, when you're grateful about what you've got in life, when you're grateful about your education, when you're grateful about your parents, when you're grateful about your teachers, the support system itself would motivate you to move ahead. So before I wind up, there are few takeaway which there are a few takeaways which I would like to say before I wind up. Most important thing is when you use gadgets, remember, is the gadget controlling you or are you controlling the gadget? Also remember, internal locus of control. Are you in charge or do you want to blame somebody else for whatever has happened? So these are few takeaways which would definitely help you. And of course the think and the improve acronym which you can free download, which would also allow you to understand that this are the most important parts of my life, and this would allow me to calm down and focus more on what is necessary in life. Yeah. So with that, I would be happy to take questions or your observations. I would also be happy to hear from senior faculty, all dear teachers here about what has been inspiring for them and what has been helping them in the struggle of lockdown.
Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation, ma'am. There are a
Thank
few
you.
questions. Can I start moderating?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. People say, the first question is, people say
Yes.
that Singh, the Hindi cine actor, had
Yes.
depression. How to
Yes.
overcome this kind of suicidal thoughts, even after being so successful in life?
Yes, that's a very pertinent question, and we are thinking of bringing out self-help. There has been self-help books, and we are looking at from Apollo also. We are looking at bringing out self-help books to help people. But most important thing is it's very clear if you look at from the outside that if I can use the same actor, I don't want to dissect his life because I feel sorry for him because he has struggled a lot and he's really a very good actor. But and I can only have not seen him as a patient or a client. Now, so if you look from outside, he had everything what a man of a 30 early 30s needed, but what pushed him into such a strong act is still to be speculated. The question here is, what do I do if I'm feeling depressed or I feel hopeless? So again, going back to think and improve. So just because you're feeling hopeless or sad or worried or you think that nothing is going to happen, understand that it is only a thought. Okay. First thing is look at, is it helping you? Is it inspiring you? Definitely this thought of I am helpless, I am hopeless, I am useless is not going to help you in any way. Then we start looking at facing it, as in the acronym. Take help, open up, talk to your maybe parents, maybe friends, maybe a responsible adult, maybe your teachers, and take help from a mental health professional if you feel that that's also required. Yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. The next question. Ma'am, could you please share the
Yes.
steps to increase our self-confidence?
Okay. See, I'm going back again. So, with my slide. So, self confidence does not happen overnight. We do not develop self confidence overnight. It is a skill. So, what we also look at in skill development, no skill. So, I know a lot of people who, are sports. Yeah, you play cricket or you play badminton. So when you look or you swim or you dance or you sing or you're good in arts, did you develop this skill all on a sudden? No, it's not that as soon as you were born you started playing cricket. No, it is a skill you developed, right? Same way, self-confidence, self-esteem is a skill you develop. So how do you develop this skill is by positive affirmations. So use the think acronym. Use your positive self affirmations. Use positive strokes. So we talk about positive strokes, self strokes. It could be that every time you do maybe a successful thing, maybe not so successful to your expectation, but a good job. Appreciate yourself. Give yourself positive strokes, and always be clear that there is nothing called the ultimate perfect thing. Yeah, we all are human beings. We would make mistakes, we would have flaws, and just because we have a flaw does not mean that we are a bad product to be discarded. Yeah, we can still work on it. So we are definitely brain, neural power, a mind which is plastic, meaning which can be developed, and the more you work on your skill, the more you develop your confidence. Yeah, so that's the tagline is, do you work on your skill? Will the working help you? Yes. Please do work on your self esteem, self confidence. Think of it as a skill to be developed. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
The next question. Has COVID contributed to binge eating or healthy eating? Since binge eating is related to stress.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much for that question. Definitely, and it's also there in my first slide that binge eating. We are seeing a lot of people calling up, being worried about. It could be a mother calling up for the daughter, saying she's worried that the daughter is going on eating or not eating and eating at odd hours, which definitely is adding to more of gynec related problems. Could be PCOD or it could be. Obesity, which later on leads on to more anxiety and depression. So definitely binge eating is a huge menace, and that is the reason why I've added that in the slide, where we definitely need to know, especially especially the young who are listening here, that binge eating is definitely not going to help you in any ways. So eat healthy, like how you would plan your day. You have 24 hours, you can't eat all the day. Give your time for eating, give time for sleeping. Also do some exercise which is possible within the house. So use your 24 hours wisely is what I would tell you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. The next question. Could you please tell us a few steps to be focused in life without distractions?
Ma'am, I missed the last part.
Ma'am, could you
Huh.
please tell us a few steps to be focused in life without distractions?
Okay. So improving attention is very important, especially in student life. What we need to understand is that we will get distracted. That's part of our brain. Yeah. So what we need to understand is that, especially things when you need more attention, could be studying or preparing, certain environmental aspects. So do not have the TV on, do not have too many gadgets on at the same time. So you will have to keep extraneous distractions away, when especially when you're studying. Yeah. So you can't keep, you can't keep people away because you are in lockdown and you have to have people around you because it's lockdown. But we can keep extraneous stimulus away, like the gadgets. So do not have your iPad on and the TV on and the music on, which will definitely reduce the attention span. Number two, eat healthy, sleep well, so that your brain does not get tired. Brain gets enough oxygen and nutrients to sustain attention, and the brain also gets enough sleep, rest to sustain attention. So these two are important aspects which you need to focus. And attention, as I was telling you, is again a skill. The more you practice, you start focusing more, and so reduce extraneous aspects, improve your stamina.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question. Would you recommend meditation for depression?
Yes. So when we talk about depression, there are different levels of depression. So if it is only a mild level, or it could be an acute depression where it is because of COVID that I am worried, I'm sad, I feel helpless, then yes, please do meditation, please do mindfulness relaxation, please talk to people, a responsible adult who's non-judgmental. That would help you, that itself. Or look at CBT, or which is a therapy which is well researched, which would allow the individual to calm down and come out of the depression. But if you have a strong family history of depression, and if you are feeling depressed, you're feeling suicidal, if you feel like hurting yourself, then only with meditation it may not come off. So you will have to maybe come meet the mental health professional, go into more maybe medication, or maybe medicines, or look at therapy on a little more intensive manner. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. The next question. How do we know the difference between COVID symptoms and stress symptoms, as both have problems related to breath?
Okay, that's a beautiful question. See what you not connected. Huh? Sorry. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. We can
Hello.
hear
Am I
you, ma'am.
audible? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am, you're
Okay.
audible,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Because in between there was no signal, so I think okay. So I will answer. Thank you for that question.
Yes.
What we need to understand is anxiety symptoms are again on the body. COVID related symptoms are again on the physical aspects. Yeah? So, what we need to understand is that the very thought that I may have got an infection can make people anxious. So, we are looking at how much of anxiety is there. Is it only related to the COVID, the infection? Or am I also thinking of my studies, my family health, my finances? So that then you're more clear of, it's not just the symptom of COVID which is happening. I'm also worried about other aspects. Yeah. So I also understand that it's more of anxiety. And COVID, you can have physical symptoms of throat pain or dry cough, which always need not happen with anxiety. And in COVID, definitely you're not going to have sleeplessness, restlessness, feeling hopeless, helpless, and all that. So that's more of emotional aspect which we are looking at. Yeah, I hope
Thank
that
you, ma'am.
answers.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. The next question: what is the intensity of the impact of COVID symptoms on one's mind?
Okay, that's a $1 billion question. And I'm sure WHO is also researching on that. We are still looking at that, and there are a lot of COVID is a new situation. We have never been prepared for a situation like this, a pandemic like this. Yeah, even though initially in March we thought, oh, this will pass. It's only for 2 weeks, and then the 2 weeks became another 15 days and another 15 days, and life kept going on and lockdown, and we are still in lockdown. Yeah, so what we need to understand is definitely this is an acute phase, but by feeling helpless or hopeless, we are not going to help anyone in. So instead of that, let's look at, okay, this is a pandemic where we are all equally sitting inside the home. Can we do something to motivate us, support each other, to help us as a community, as a human race, to tackle the situation? So that would be a better motivation than looking at, oh my god, what am I going to do now? So I would definitely suggest, advise people to look at, especially the young adults, the students, to look at this as an opportunity to develop skills rather than being anxious and bogged down. So use this time to develop skills, to develop yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Wonderfully answered. The next question. Thank you so much. The next question: how to manage teenage kids from the phone addiction and lack of exercise during lockdown?
Yes, that's also a very rampant question which is being coming. Not just kids, ma'am, even the younger ones. So yesterday we had a call, and the mother was very distressed because her 1.5-year-old girl is on the phone all the time, and you remove it, she throws a tantrum. Yeah. So we talk about, one is environmental manipulation, the other one is behavior therapy. So as we said, like how we have me time for oneself, we also need to have that scheduled time for gadgets. So initially they might throw tantrums, they might get angry, they might use even swear words, but that's fine. We are looking at a behavioral change there. Yeah. So just by telling them don't use the phone, they're not going to listen, because they can't go out, they can't do anything else, they can't. In fact, they feel so locked up that they want, especially the teens, the adolescents is what I'm looking at. So as parents, we will also need to look at what else can we do with them. So we also need to engage them in some meaningful activity. So look at what else can we do within the four walls of the house. So can we play something? Can we talk something? Can we do something constructively instead of looking at the phone? So first, let us as adults, as senior adults, as parents, model them by not looking at the phone all the time, by being with them, playing with them, even talking to them. Something in their language would help. For that, scheduling the time. And that's again, it's a habit. It's not like today you start and tomorrow they change. It's a habit. So you will have to practice this over and over again. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. The next question, ma'am.
Yeah.
Regarding your slide on think, you
Huh.
said ignore and not to worry. How do
Yes.
we overcome this? As your other slide on within my control and outside my control
Yes.
talks
Yes.
about the effect of news on the public.
Yes. So we are looking at think. So we are looking at two different aspects here. Okay. One side we are looking at information diet. So things which are in my control are information which I need from authentic websites or from a senior medical practitioner who is good at his or her work. Yeah. So that you can believe that person. Yeah, or you can believe this website. Yeah, so what I mean to say is that we are looking at information diet, which helps us not to get more anxious. Okay, now the other side of it is think about the acronym talks about thoughts which are not helpful. So things like I'm helpless, I'm useless, life is going to end, this is my end of my finances, I will be doomed. That is the negative thought which I'm looking at. So when you're aware that this negative thought is not helpful, not true, not inspiring, that is where we practice to ignore it. So we ignore. So for example, right now you're all listening to me, but there would be other things happening around you. There may be somebody talking in the other room, or there may be somebody playing in next to you. So we are tuned to focusing on one aspect, ignoring the other aspects, and that's the same skill we are looking at when I say ignoring the thought. So, but when you're aware of it, it's easier for you to ignore the thought.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. The next question, ma'am. How
Yeah.
to improve the dopamine and serotonin flush in the body? Since younger generation people are getting this deficiency nowadays.
Yes, very good question. What research says is that what as human beings we need to do is one, definitely sleep well, sleep on time, have your 8 hours or 6 to 8 hours is what people say, healthy sleeping. Eat well, eat on time. I'm not saying only idli would help. Anything which is healthy, it could be anything which is cooked at home, which is cleaned well, which is nutritious. So eat well, sleep well. That is take care of your body. Number two is do things which are constructive, which are meaningful according to your values. If you remember, that was also there in one of the slides. So do things which according to your value system. So you know your value system. You know if your value system is to be proactive or to be creative. So do things which are according to your value systems, which would also allow you to look at helping yourself develop your serotonin and dopamine levels, because when you do something creative or do learn a new skill, you're also adding to your dopamine. And now all of us are having a dopamine surge because we are thinking constructively, we are learning something new, we are discussing something new, and that social activity also would add on to more serotonin in you. Yeah, so we can't physically be together. So what we talk about, instead of physical distance, we are of course we can't be physically together, but we are looking at emotional connectivity, and that again adds on to your serotonin levels.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, there is one last question.
Yes.
What is your advice on post-COVID situation? Will it be a healthy one or unhealthy one? As one section makes hay while the sun shines by focusing on nutrition and physical fitness, whereas the other section eats and sleeps recklessly.
Yeah, that's the metaphor which we use. One side you have the angel and the other side you have the devil, and there is a fight between them. Yeah, so what I tell is that let them fight. Why are you worried? You watch the fight. Yeah, so we still don't know what the new normal is going to be. Yeah, there are a lot of speculations as to life world would be this way, world would be that way, and we still don't know. There are a lot of speculations. So the best thing is what is in your hand. What is it that you can do as a responsible adult or a responsible teenager, which would help you to move further in your goals according to your value system? And that is what is going to motivate you and help you to be focused. So COVID can be in any ways, influencing or destroying, or whatever word adjective you want, you can use. But is that going to affect you in a right way or in a bad way? So that action is again in your hand. So who is responsible for your actions? You yourself. So when you start looking at that as self affirmations, my control is in my hand, that would again motivate you to look at any way. It could be a new normal, it could be back to older ways. Anyways, we are looking at helping us ourselves.
Thank you so much for answering all our questions, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. May I now request Ms. Gracie to take over the session?
Good evening. I begin with an old saying, it is time to stop and thank the people who make a difference in our lives. I take this time to thank on behalf of Yeti Shakti, the Students' League of Etraj College for Women, all those who made this webinar series, Turning Crisis to Opportunities, a dream come true. At the outset, I thank respected Madam Principal, Dr. S. Kodai, for giving us due permission and for being a pillar of support towards the conduction of the webinar series. I take this opportunity to thank the Board of Trustees, Etraj College for Women, for their constant motivation. I thank the Vice Principals, Dr. D.B. Usharani and Dr. T. Usha Priya, for their encouragement. On behalf of the entire League fraternity, I extend our sincere gratitude to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Kirti Pai, psychologist, Apollo Hospital, for delivering a lecture on motivational enhancement for students during lockdown. Thank you, madam, for your inspiration, which indeed would have been a moral boost to our students who would spearhead hope and confidence in personal, familial, and societal dimensions betwixt the pandemic. I extend my heartfelt thanks to the Deans of Students, Dr. T. Punitavadi and Dr. Anusha Balasin, for their valuable suggestions from time to time with constant guidance in all our endeavors. I express my sincere thanks to fellow lead faculty coordinators, Dr. Ajita, Dr. Ganga, and Dr. Archana for arranging appropriate sessions that would prove to be beneficial to the student community at the present juncture. I profusely thank Ms. Satyaprabha for sharing with us her expertise in making every detail of the infographics, from the e-brochure to the certificate template, a perfectly articulated one. Our special thanks to Ms. Yamini, Mrs. Radhika, and Ms. Tilaga for their painstaking efforts towards significant technical and logical support in broadcasting the lecture series and the subsequent generation of participant certificates. I take this time to appreciate all our beloved students for being a wonderful audience and enthusiastic participation. Thank you. Participants are requested to kindly fill in the feedback form being posted in the live chat box at the end of each session mandatorily to receive the e-certificate at the end of the webinar series. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It was a pleasure interacting with all of you. Thank you very much,
Thank
ma'am.
you very much.
Thank you.